Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to the bunker. It's time for another voicemail. Today's voicemail is from an anonymous caller. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Hi, Lloyd. I would like to remain anonymous for the sake of my family, but I found your channel about a month ago. I'm not a JW. I was raised a Baptist, and honestly, I feel like they're both very damaging religions. And, well, the reason why I felt like I needed to leave a voicemail, and I've been thinking about it for a while, is because my mom's entire side of the family is Jehovah's Witness. And I really didn't know much about it. My mom's not one. She never was one. They got converted by my aunt's husband. So, but they've been Jehovah's Witness my entire life. And I really didn't know much about it at all until about a month ago. My little cousin started trying to talk to me about it. And so it made me feel really bad. The whole talk made me feel so incredibly awful, to the point where I already suffer from a lot of anxiety and depression, so it just added to that and it made me feel like a horrible person. And so I reached out and searched for people who had left because I wanted to understand why everyone had left if it was some great society that my cousin, had said it was. So I found your channel. So I guess what I'm asking is this. I need, I guess, guidance on the fact of I love my family very much, but at the same time, they're so engulfed in this to the point where I feel extremely judged by them because I'm no longer Baptist for one. I'm not one of them. I'm such a black sheep in this family to the point where I don't really know what to do anymore because I love them, but at the same time, I don't believe in what they believe. Most of the time, they respect it, but it also just feels like they look at me like I'm stupid, like completely stupid. And I know I'm not stupid because I didn't fall for a cult. But at the same time, I, for one, me and my cousin have become really close during the pandemic because he really doesn't have anybody since he's been, isolated from everybody because of the pandemic. So it's really hard for me to know that his life could be so much better if he could just get out. And I want to help him, but at the same time, I don't want to be the cause of him being shunned by our family. But at the same time, it's like, it's messed up. The entire thing is messed up. And I guess if you have any advice or any wisdom or anything that you could say to me that could make me, maybe help me in some way, I'm very lost with this, and I've put off like calling in for a long time. It feels like, well, I guess it's not really that long, but it feels like a long time. And if you could give me any wisdom, it would be greatly appreciated. I really enjoy watching your videos and learning more about why it's so messed up. Thank you, Lloyd.
Well, thank you for leaving that message. I really do sympathize with your situation. There isn't really a lot of quote unquote wisdom I can offer you. The most pressing thing that I need to say, that maybe you need to hear, even though you may kind of deep down know it, is you're not alone. Lots of people are going through the same situation in many cases that you're going through. Religion does create these huge gulfs in relationships. And you're describing a situation where you're not shunned by your Baptist family, but you're still treated differently. You're treated, as you put it, like the black sheep, as a stupid person just because you don't share their beliefs. And this is making you feel judged. So that doesn't sound like a healthy relationship at all. Faced with a situation like yours, there's nothing wrong with taking drastic action if it's impacting on your mental health. Your mental health is something that's very, very precious, because your mental health informs the nature of your life and the nature of your experience on this planet. And if your experience on this planet is dreadful and you're constantly depressed and constantly being made to feel as though you're somehow unworthy, you're somehow stupid, well, how is that sustainable in the long run? You need to guard your mental health. You didn't mention anywhere in that message that you were seeking professional help from a counselor or therapist. So I think the most pressing thing you need to do is try and find a way of getting some therapy, because nothing that I say can substitute for help from an actual mental health professional. But I would, if I were you, be open to the idea that, you know, as I've said many, many times on this channel, just because someone's related to you doesn't make them your family. Again, I know it's complicated. I know relationships are very rarely perfect. There's a lot of give and go in almost any relationship, isn't there? So I don't think you should be expecting perfection from your family. But if they really are making your life intolerable, if they really are adding to your anxiety and depression and feelings of worthlessness, that might be worth addressing. That might require a recalibration, a change in your life, so that you can surround yourself with people who will basically love you for who you are. Now, when it comes to your cousin, you ask, or you say that you want to help your cousin. You've been spending more time with your cousin due to the lockdown situation. He's used these opportunities, it seems, to preach to you, to, as he would put it, witness to you. This preaching has left you feeling, quote, awful. So it clearly wasn't a positive experience for you. And I think, you know, there's the short-term problem of him preaching and the long-term problem of him being in a cult. The short-term problem of him preaching to you when you're in these situations is easily addressed by saying, look, you know, let's set some boundaries here, because what you're doing, I know why you're doing it, and I know you feel that justified in what you're doing, but I'm telling you it's not okay, you know? As someone who struggles with anxiety and depression, I don't need to hear that I'm going to be destroyed unless I join your religion, if that's okay. So I think frank communication is the answer to the short-term, more pressing issue of your cousin preaching to you. In terms of the long-term problem of your cousin being in a cult and you feeling bad about that, don't feel bad about that. Feel bad about things that you have control over. You don't, quite frankly, have control over the fact that your cousin was raised in a cult and is therefore riddled with this cult ideology, this indoctrination. You can't just snap your fingers and get rid of it. There is no panacea. If there were some magic bullet, I wouldn't be doing this channel. There would be no cults, because everyone who knows someone who's in a cult would just be able to flick this magic switch and suddenly we'd be free of it. So don't feel bad about situations that you have no control over. That's probably, I think for me at least, the most important thing when it comes to preserving my mental health. I have enough problems on my plate that I have control over without adding problems that I don't have control over. And there's nothing, quite frankly, that you can do. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to help someone out of a cult. I like to think that I was in some way instrumental to my wife getting out of a cult, because I was able to respectfully and tactfully share information with her, but she was driving that process. If your cousin starts asking questions of you and starts engaging in a meaningful two-way dialogue about his beliefs from an open-minded, intellectually honest position of, you know, disprove my beliefs to me or show me where I'm going wrong, that's when you have some control. That's when you can do something. You don't have any control unless he comes to you. And then you can have an honest, frank conversation. Actually, you know what, cuz? I've looked into your religion online, and I have to say I'm pretty appalled. Would you like me to explain why? So he needs to be the driver in that process. You can't force it on him. And it's not just a cult follower thing when it comes to putting your hands over your ears and saying, la, 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 I can't hear you. We all do it. No one likes to have information thrust at them that debunks their cherished views and opinions. It's frankly rude to do that. We all recoil through cognitive dissonance when we are confronted, especially in a very blunt, tactless manner, with stuff that contradicts what we think and believe. So you don't even try doing that. Let him come to you, obviously not in the context of preaching to you. Make it very, very clear to him that that's not okay and he needs to stop. But I would say to him, while I don't want you preaching to me, if you are genuinely open to a two-way dialogue about your beliefs and about the issues I may have with them, then yes, then we can talk. Otherwise, please respect my boundaries. I think that would be what I would say. But the main take home for me, or the main piece of advice I would have is, number one, you're not alone. Many people from various fundamentalist backgrounds will relate to your predicament and sympathize. There are many of us. We would all give you a hug if we could and tell you you're strong, you can get yourself through this, we're with you. And second of all, please seek help from a mental health professional if you haven't done so already, because you very honestly and candidly spelled out a few hints that might be an issue for you. That might be an area in which an intervention from a professional who knows what they're talking about could be of some assistance. So I hope that's been helpful for you. If you would like to leave a voicemail, the thing to do is go to speakpipe.com/Cedars, remembering to indicate clearly if you don't want me to broadcast your message on my channel. But that's all I have time for. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for more such videos. And as always, thank you for watching.